Hello, let's look at multiplication of fractions today in one of our lessons. Now, in studying multiplication, the first thing to do is to be able to identify the numerator and then denominators. Now, the numbers at the top are referred to as the numerators, and those below are referred to as denominators. From this, we want to multiply them. Now, there is a way you can do it to make it easier for you. Now, when you have such an expression, check the numerators. Are the numerators having anything in common with the denominators? What I mean is there any factor that will be able to reduce either the numerators or the denominators to the lowest term? With this first example, no. So there are no common factors that can divide. 2 cannot divide 5, can't divide 3. Therefore, what I have to do is to go straight to my multiplication. 2 times 1, which is 2. Then 3 times 5, which is 15. Remember, denominators cannot reduce each other, while the numerators can also not reduce each other. It is only the denominators that can reduce the numerators, or numerators reducing the denominators. Now let's move to other questions and see. Yes, let's look at a typical example of this question here. 8 out of 14 times 7 out of 24. Yes, with this, 8 has something to do with 24 because 8 will stand as a factor of 24. So what it means is that I can reduce this 8 by itself, and 8 can reduce 24 to 3. 7 is also a factor of 14. So 7 will reduce itself by 1. 7 will reduce 14 by 2. So from here we can conclude that 1 times 1 over 2 times 3. Therefore, our answer is going to be 1 out of 6 as our answer. Now let's move forward to see a more complex one. So we have through two whole number, 2 out of 3 times 7 out of 16. Now it says such a situation, what you have to do is to reduce or change the mixed fractions to improper fraction. So it's going to be 3 times 2, 3 times the whole number 2, which will give us 6, then add it to the numerator, which is 2. So 3 times 2 is 6 plus 2, that is 8. So you're going to have 8 out of 3 times 7 out of 16. Okay, and 7 out of 16. Now let's find out. Yes, 8 is a factor of 16. So what it means is that I can use 8 to reduce 16. 8 goes into 16, 2. The end of the day, there's no numerator that will be able to reduce the denominator, and vice versa. So I'm going to have 1 times 7 over 3 times 2. 1 times 7 is 7. 3 times 2 is 6. Now the numerator is bigger than the denominator, so I can reduce the value to mixed fraction. 6 goes into 7 is 1. Remember, 1 out of 6. Right. And that is answer to that question. Now let's move forward to see a little bit complex one. Here is an example of a word problem, and so let's solve it. Now 16, if 16 out of 30 students, pupils in a class are boys and the rest are girls, what fraction are boys, and B, what fraction are girls? Now the whole of this shape is representing the number of students in the class, or pupils in the class, which is 30 pupils in a class. Out of these 30, the shaded one represents the number of boys, that is 16, out of 30, while the unshaded one, the white one, will represent number of girls, which is 14 out of 30, right? Now with 30, if you take the 16, you are left with 40, right? So these are the fractions, but we can still reduce the fractions. I told you earlier on, the boys, 16 out of 30, we can reduce it by saying 2 be able to reduce 16 to give us 8, 2 reduce 30 to give us 15. So at the end of the day, we arrive our answer as 8 out of 15. Now for the girls is 14 out of 30. Now 14 out of 30, 14, I know 2 can reduce 14 to give me 7, while 2 can reduce this to give me 15. Therefore the fraction of girls is going to be 7 out of 15 as our answer. I hope you enjoyed our lesson. So you can contact us on our number 024625340. Can contact us on this number for any assistance. God bless you.